Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is the second part of the tutorial I posted a week back, the drafting part. So if it's your first time, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, you're also welcome. So these are the drafts, the pattern we already cut out. If you've not seen the video, you can proceed to my channel and just watch it so you can have more understanding of what I'm going to be doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is to connect the pockets to the front pattern. So I have the fabric folded, and if your fabric needs to be ironed for you to get the center part, so just go ahead and do that. So I have it folded and I've located the center, and down there I'm going to secure it with pin. Then I'll bring up the pocket and also located the center part. Also I'll make the center part of the pocket to touch the center part of the draft of the fabric, so making the right side of the fabric of the front part to face the wrong side of the pocket draft. So I'll go ahead and just use my pin and secure the down part of the pocket and the fabric together. So joining this pocket to the front part of your dress, there are many ways you can do it. If you know you just can do it in another method, go ahead and use it and use the method. So now I'm going to be folding up. The upper part is going to be folded, so I'll fold it up. You can see me folding it up like this, and initially I just pin everything together, but later on I had to remove the edges part because I know that part that your hand is going to enter from the pocket is going to be folded in, of which you can just first fold up that part before you place the pocket on the main fabric. So now you can just, or you want to follow my pattern, you can still go ahead and just follow. So you can see the center, I'm going to be folding it up like this. Then I'll grab a pin again and secure it down. Do it just to make the pocket and the fabric to be firm together, so that when I'm sewing it, it won't be shifting and I will know exactly where to sew. And using this method, you don't need to start using chalk to mark out, because it can actually stain your fabric if it's a kind of whitish fabric. So you can see the pocket side, I folded it up, and the pocket side now I'm not going to be sewing it together with the main fabric. So the pocket, the part I'm calling the pocket now, this exactly place I'm touching now, where my hand is going to be entering through. So I'm not going to be sewing it together. I'll just fold up the tip for both sides, just the side and the down part and the upper area I'm going to be joining together with the main body. And guys, we all know how hoodie is, so just, if you have any method you can use to get this right, just go ahead and do that. Following this method is a bit simpler for me. So at this point now, you can see this other part, I had to just lose out the pin there and get the part that my hand is going to enter through the pocket, just get it folded like this. So exactly the way you're seeing it now, that's how I'm going to take it to the stitching machine and run stitch on it. Remember, the part that my hand is going to enter through the pocket is not going to be stitched together with the main fabric. So I advise you to first stitch these parts together before you place the pocket on the main draft, the front pattern, before you sew it together. So you can just see how I'm securing everything with the pin, so that it's going to be more comfortable for me to sew. So I'll go ahead and just stitch it, leaving that part I'm holding now open. I'll just stitch it together, but not together with the main fabric. And this is exactly what I have after I was done doing that. So I'll go ahead and just remove some of the pin that are left on the fabric and trim off all the excesses and the thread I have there. You can see this part I'm putting my hand in now is not stitched together with the main fabric. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I will introduce the back pattern. So I'll just place the back pattern on the front pattern exactly the way you're seeing it now, making the right side face the right side, and I'll go ahead, stitch the shoulder, stitch the side, the two sides together. And guys, this is what I have after I was done doing that. So you can see this is the wrong side, so I will put my hand inside out and turn it out exactly the way you're seeing it now. So this is what I have after I was done turning it out. So at this point now, I'm going to be bringing the sleeve part. This is the sleeve. I'll separate the, we cut the sleeve together. I separate them, and I'm going to be bringing one of it to show us exactly I'm going to be fixing the slit. So I will ensure the right side is facing the right side of the main body pattern, and I'll start from the down part. While I was stitching this side, I didn't stitch to the extreme, so I left some parts. So that's where I'm going to be starting the stitching of the sleeve from. So guys, this is exactly what I have after I was done stitching this sleeve together for both sides. And again, I'm going to be turning it to the right side so that we'll see perfectly what we have. This is very simple to make. Hoodie is the most simplest and is a kind of profitable business you can venture into. Just get the right fabric and guys, proceed, because you're going to make a lot of money selling hoodie alone. So now the next thing we are going to be doing now is to stitch the down parts. Remember, while I was cutting, I had deducted 3 inches for the down part. So I have the 3 inches cut out now. Then I'm going to be stitching it together to the down part of where I deducted it from the main length, remember. So I just first went ahead to take the measurement all through the down part, the circumference, and I think I have about 50 thereabouts, or 49, 46, I can't remember. You just measure everything you have if you are doing yours, because it differs. What you get might be different from mine because we are not using the same measurement. So this is the cutout I have. So the length now is equivalent to the length to where I want it to occupy, the down circumference. Then the wideness is 3 inches, but while I was cutting, I made it 3.5. So while I cut everything, I cut it out at 7 because I'll be folding it up together exactly the way you're seeing. And the first thing I did was to first go run stitch on it straight before I would join it together to the upper part of the body. And if you know you can just stitch everything together at once, go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'll be starting from this side because the down part I cut was not long enough, so I had to join it together. So I want that joint part to be in the same part of the side where I have the joint of the side of the main body. So I will from there join it. Since I already stitched the mouth together, it's very easy for me to just play around with it and just stitch it all around together. And guys, this is exactly what I have after I was done doing it. You can see now, you trim out all the excesses and make your hoodie nice clean. Just get a stitch and weave it to make it very clean. So now to attach the neck part, you can see this is the neck. I just held the neck from the center of the front to the center of the back, and I notched the center of the front and the center of the back at a time. Why we are doing this is that the upper part, the cap part, the hoodie, is going to be starting from the center front. Remember, it has rope, so that's why I notched it. And this here is the upper part that will cut, the cap that will cut out. So now I'm going to be putting this loop, this eyelet. I'm going to be putting this eyelet on it, so that's where the rope is going to pass through. Then from the down part of it, if you remember the cutting part, this part I'm marking is actually the front part. So I'll go up about 2 inches, then to the side about 1 inch. Then I'm going to be making small hole, a bit hole there that my eyelet can pass through, and I'll put it, then cover it with the other part of the eyelet. Then if you have your eyelet machine, just go ahead and pin it together and make an hole there exactly. So this is exactly what I did, and you can see I did for both sides. And now if you notice, most hoodie have lining inside, but this one I'm going to be doing it without lining. If it's the one with lining, just go ahead and cut exactly what you have here, cut it out and use and cover it. But since I'm doing this without lining, so I'm going to be fixing in the rope exactly the way you're seeing, passing it through the eyelet, so you can see it now. Then I'll pass it through the eyelet, Then I'll flip my fabric to the other side just to stitch it together. And while you are stitching, you have to be very careful so you don't stitch on the rope you already passed through, because it's necessary for you to pass this rope in between the cap before you stitch it, so that you don't have to undergo the stress of passing the rope after you're done stitching it. So you can see I've gone ahead to stitch it together and also stitch the body together, and that's exactly what I have. So now back to the main body. Since I already notched the front center and the back center, I'm going to be placing the cap, the center, the part that has the loop, place it together like this. Remember, if you have any hoodie, for example, the center part is always crossed, and when we were measuring too, when we were cutting, we had extra allowance because of the cross, so that's why I just place it on top each other. You can see it there. Then I'll start from that place it on that part I notched from the front part. I'll stitch it round, making the right side of the cap part face the right side of the main fabric, and exactly what I just stitched together. And that's what we have now. You can see how it's coming out already. This is very simple tutorial to do, as I've said earlier. Okay, so the excess I have in there, you go ahead and just weave it and stitch it down. While stitching it, you're not stitching it to the cap, you're stitching it to the main body of the hoodie. If you watched this tutorial to this point, thank you so much, and please don't forget to like, leave a lovely comment, and please subscribe to the channel and on the notification bell. This is the outcome. Bye.